All right, today we're looking at angle on the Z. I had my buddies over at Phase 2 Motorsports send me over some extended tie rods. So we're gonna be installing those today and see how much more angle we could actually put on the Z. So currently, you can see that huge gap right there. That's as far as my tie rod will allow my car to steer. Here's my bump stop. This is where it was connected, but there's a huge gap. I could stick 2 fingers inside that gap. I'm looking to get it to almost touch. I'll probably bring it out slightly so I don't hit my control arm. So here's your power steering rack. This is your tie rod. So the rod sits like this. Comes into this boot, screws into the rack. So we're just going to be replacing that part. So we need to loosen this up, and we need to loosen this boot off, and then unscrew the nut inside of that. The easiest way to get this off is to take your rim off, unscrew this off, so then you're able to actually unscrew that. So you're gonna have to pop this down and off. I was thinking about replacing these, so I just figured I'd take the whole thing and completely remove it. My car wasn't aligned anyway, so none of this matters. I'm gonna have to realign everything, so I'm not even worried about how everything's oriented. You want to keep your boot if it's good. This is a nice clean brand new boot, so we'll keep this. The nut for the tie rod, which I might have one on that one, I don't know if I need to keep this, and then the clamp for the boot. These wire, where is that at? I can't see it, but anyway, there's a wire cable that goes around the other end of this boot. I don't really like those. I either use a hose clamp or a zip tie. Zip ties, I mean, they're amazing. Zip ties replace everything, because it doesn't need to be tight, it just needs to be sealed, because if you look, you got some grease in here. You just want to be able to keep the grease in the boot. So that's all there is to that. That was not easy to get out. So let's have a look at the different size here. So this is the new one. This is the stock one. So here's your stock. Here's your extended tie rod. And then basically all it does is it adds more threads onto your tie rod, and then it allows you to put this spacer in place. And then with this spacer, it makes these threads as long as these threads, so you still get the same amount of threading inside of your steering rack. It just sits, I don't know, a ½ inch out, which gives it a lot more play, especially when you take off the bump stock. It lets it travel more. That little tiny adjustment, that little extension right there, it'll give you 8 degrees, 10 degrees, something like that. I think it's about 8 to 10 degrees more steering angle. So let's say you can turn out to here, it'll give you about, you know, somewhere in this range. gotta say, I'm actually pretty impressed with how much more angle got put on the car with just tie rod extensions and then removing the bump stops. That's crazy to me. So eventually we're looking at going to a angle kit, but you know, in the meantime, we're not there yet. So the extended tie rods have added so much extra angle to the Z. I'm excited to go out and try it. We need to get an alignment, and we have to replace the ball joints and everything. When I was in there, the ball joints and the outer tie rods, they are just dry rotted like crazy. So on an upcoming video, we're gonna definitely be doing that. I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but this car actually sat in somebody's backyard as a shell for, I don't know, probably a couple years before some kid tried to buy it, build it, and then sold it to me. So a lot of the rubber parts on the car are just dry rotted. So now that we've gotten into the suspension and we see that, we're gonna do ball joints, we're gonna do outer tie rods. So I have those, they're shipped, they're coming in, they're on their way in now. They should be here in a week, and hopefully we can get that done. So that'll be on our next video, so make sure you check that out. As always guys, like, comment, subscribe. I like hearing from you, and I hope you like the content. I'll see you in the next video.